Good morning, guys and girls. How's it going? And Screezilla here, your friendly neighborhood kaiju monster. Yay. Ah, shit, I've just remembered. I haven't set the controls for the ship. Ah. Let's just do this. Yes, relative control. Yes, let me save changes. Okay, that should be all I need to do. Okay, right. Okay, welcome to the North Sea. A new. Okay, I selected English, but oh well. So apparently, we're playing as the Americans. Seeing I was actually on the British team, I don't know how that happened. Oh well. Let's just switch these around. Lots of things doing. Lots of things doing. We won't get into the game just yet. Okay. Now let's spawn in and let's get started. Okay, welcome to the North Sea, a new map. Well, kind of a new map. As you can see here, we're in the North Sea. Well, very famous for its islands and yeah, not its vast ocean, which is very, very deadly and dangerous and not very nice. It's more known for these tiny little islands off the coast of the North Sea. Okay, before you start complaining, let's turn the volume down. Now, sorry, this is all from, I don't know, if you haven't watched my World of Warships video, which I know some of you probably haven't, my computer decided to die on me. Not completely die, but just die a little bit on me. Which, in turn, has managed to reset every single bloody part of my War Thunder settings, which is about as fun as sandpaper condoms. And almost capsized Doug there, because I was not watching where I was going. Go. Too busy firing at this guy. Trying to get some targets on shot at distance. Now these are looking a bit short in all honesty. Let's go up to 100. Now, there we go, that's better. Got some hits. The auto-aiming sort of calculation thing is pretty wonky, in all honesty. It tends to fall short a lot of the times, which is really frustrating. Maybe it's just because the crew skills are very low. Oh, almost an ammo rack there. Oh, come on, that was right on the ammunition. Typical my luck with an ammo rack there. Managed to hit the ammunition perfectly, spot on. Bring the guns in a little bit. Just want to dip the shots a little bit more on this guy. Some flooding. Taking an absolute pummeling from something. From our left there, apparently, somebody's got us. Oh, look, there's a PT boat or something. Is it? What's shooting us? Oh, it's that guy on the island. Fun. Yeah, so naval combat, it's still super, super wonky in all honesty. And you'll get hits on target, perfectly on target, and just, they do nothing. And it's just so bloody frustrating. It's even worse than tanks, I find. Trying to shoot this guy's ammo rack here. There we go. That's what we wanted. Smoke up again. Because we're getting an absolute hammering from the right. And apparently, that's just the fire signal. A lot of ships over there. Start firing off. Launch some torpedoes over there as well. Get our distance a little bit higher. So this is naval combat, as I say. It's still very well, still dull as dishwater sometimes. Now, air guns are firing off at something. Don't know what it is, but it's something. And hey, there's a little PT boat there. Hello. Goodbye. Honestly, it's still very just, I don't know how to explain the naval combat in this game. It's just very boring. And it's very much who can spawn camp first. There is some skill involved in it if you go for the ammo snipes, as I say. Just because you really actually need to aim and get the targeting completely right for that to work, but it just doesn't feel, you don't get that feel for it. The guns just don't feel big. It doesn't feel like you're firing a, you know, 150mm or 120mm gun. It just feels like you're firing a small caliber gun sometimes. And as I say, there's no real sort of just doesn't feel that rewarding sometimes. You know, you're firing, you know, almost 3,000 or 4,000 shots into a ship. And yeah, that's sort of how it goes with naval combat, of course, but it just doesn't feel very realistic. And it almost feels like you don't know what you're doing. Unless you get ammo racks, it's very hard to kill a ship. And there we go. Some ships are just way too overpowered as well. The Fletcher, for instance, is just way too strong. And And I think there's a fire on me. This guy's using me as some armour here as well, but also helping repair me, which is nice of him. And this guy's bow tanking us, which is not a good idea in all honesty. Makes it a bit harder to hit, but the problem with bow tanking is you expose your ammunition. And if you play World of Warships, you know how dangerous that can be. It's basically like sending broadside onto a battleship, so to say. There we go. No, that wasn't... Was that him? I don't even know who that was then. I don't think that was that guy. Or was it that guy? Did I kill that guy? Is that guy dead? Yeah, that guy's dead. Okay, good. So who are firing at here? Oh, there's a PT boat or something off to my side there. That guy's gonna try and get his torpedoes off on us, of course. Because what else can he do? And his torpedoes are off. Now I'm going to protect... Oh, actually, we just don't need to move here because we're safe. We've beached. Another PT boat coming in here, and his torpedoes are off, and he's as good as dead. But I'm in serious trouble here because I've got some torpedoes heading straight to my bow, to my stern even. And I'm not getting a tow, am I? And I'm dead. Oh no, I'm not. I'm still alive. Because 2 torpedoes... Oh wait, no, I am dead. Okay. Ah, God. Just... As I say, it's so wonky. It's just so wonky still. I don't understand it. Like, it makes no sense. And... some of the mechanics just don't work. A lot of the game doesn't work, and the radar doesn't work properly, and you know, there's just so much that doesn't work. Now, I've done well this game. I've got 3 kills and 3 assists. Looks like we need to go and capture one of the points. We need to cap, really. Of course, my... yeah, so this is naval combat. As I said, really, it's about aiming those shots. If you're good at sniping, you're going to do really well in naval. Torpedoes, unless you get on top of somebody, are pretty useless. You know, all you want to aim for is the front of the ship, because that's the only spot where ammo is. And that guy's dead as well. He's been hit. And it really makes the game quite boring in that respect, because, well, you know, the Fletcher is just the best ship in game. Fletcher is without a doubt the best ship in game. And it means that, you know, it's very OP. Seems we're going to lose this battle. As this guy turns in, which he's not going to. We need to start going to B. Good with decapping C, so that will give us a little bit of time. But yeah, it just really isn't working. As I say, the actual combat is just very meh. You can't use aeroplanes at all. Because they're just... You just get spammed by AAA fire. This guy's trying to reverse. He's going to be hard to hit, being a little tiny PT boat that he is at this distance. But we got it. Centre of mass, he's dead. Got another PT boat coming in here. Critical hit. Somehow he survived that hit. And he's dead. And we've got an enemy tribal class over there. Taking out his propulsion. Now we'll try for that ammo rack. And the trouble is, there's only one ammo rack on these ships. Now, I'm going to have to look it up historically. But I'm pretty sure that the ammunition was kept a little bit safer than it is in this game. And getting friendly fired there. Okay, and that's the end of that battle. But yeah, I'm pretty sure all of the ammunition was not kept in the front of the ship. There was definitely ammunition kept below the other turrets. It wasn't all ferried to one spot. And it was in a relatively thick casing. Which... You know, it just makes no sense that all of the ammunition's in the same spot for every single ship. And... So look, I'm just trying to find a blueprint of the Fletcher here. But it just really affects the gameplay, because it just, if you know what you're aiming for, you absolutely decimate in this game mode, as you've seen. Like, you know, it was a really easy few kills there for me for those ships, because I knew to aim at the ammunition. So yeah, the ammunition was kept at the bow and the stern of the ship. So the ammo sections were, of course, underneath the turrets. So the main ammo stowage was under all of the turrets, basically. And it was, of course, heavily armoured. And very low under the waterline, of course. So, yeah, I just don't understand why it's all in that one spot. And the other thing, of course, is many of the ships after the Battle of Jutland kept their ammunition and the breaching powder, their powder, separately. because of the, well, ammunition explosions that happened. And yeah, it just makes, I just don't know what's happening there. The other thing is, it's just, well, as I said, it's just a bit bleh, in all honesty. Oh, it does appear I'm actually getting some lines out of this now. So that's something. Not many lions. I hope that's actually not the figures for the end game when it comes out, because if it is, we're gonna be in trouble. I imagine this is just toned down just for the beta, but maybe they could just turn the lion aspect on for this while we're testing, just so you know, we can actually make some money out of it doing it. It would be nice to have to know what sort of lions you'd be looking at for the game play. So apparently we got 2 critical hits there, although we did get a few other ammo racks. 96 hits in total. 5 targets destroyed. 3 enemy assists. You know, it wasn't a bad game. We ended up losing, of course. A score of almost 6,000. So, and we had the most kills of anybody as well for ships. So, you know, it wasn't a bad game, but as I said, it just doesn't feel weighty enough. The guns don't feel strong enough. They feel a bit meh, in all honesty. And professional coffee sip there. It just doesn't feel. It just doesn't feel good. That's the best way I can put it. I'm pretty sure I was on the British as well. I just want to go back and see what's happening there. No, I was on the Americans. What am I talking about? I thought I was on the British line. Oh well, I've gone mad apparently. When planes come into this aspect, they really need to do something about the AAA fire. A lone ship's AAA was quite risky, but of course when you had 2 or 3 planes, it was very ineffective, especially destroyers. There was destroyer anti-aircraft boats, but it just feels a bit too OP at the moment. The Italian P108, as I say, it was designed for anti-shipping. The 105mm gun on the the 102mm gun on the front was designed to take out destroyers, and when you've played it, you only get 1 shot off maybe at long distance, and that's it. Unfortunately, you don't really get much use in it because it's just such a big target. Because, well, of course it is. But the thing was, though, this plane was not designed to fly at low levels close to the ship. It was designed to fly at mid-altitude. The gun was actually in a... I've forgotten the word of it. Forgotten the word of it. That is good English there. It was actually aimable, though. So the gunner would actually be able to move the gun left to right, up and down. I think it had 10 degrees of movement in its gun doohickey. It wasn't much movement, but it was enough to actually aim it on the fly. It had a stabilizer as well. It had a gyroscopic stabilizer they were working on. So the plane could fly level, and the gunner could shoot at ships below. And these shells would cause a hell of a lot of damage if they went into the waterline of a ship. That's the other issue of this naval game. The waterline doesn't do much. Unless you hit that ammo rack, you don't get much sinking. You know, you hit a Fletcher class with a 150mm gun, it's going to go straight through that ship, or it's going to explode in the middle of it. And that's going to make a big old hole. It's going to blow the exterior out. So this, imagine this is a Fletcher. The shell goes in here, explodes in the middle. What happens is, if it goes through a couple of rooms, and those rooms are decimated, if it explodes on entry, then all of this section here gets blown out, and the hole that would be, you know, about 20-30 centimeters big becomes 50 to 100 centimeters big. It becomes a big hole. And when the ship's moving, that water just goes straight through it. Unless the captain's smart and turns to the left in this case, making less water pressure on that point so the crews can fix it. But when there's a big hole in the ship, you get a lot of water coming through. Now, it does depend on what part of the ship it hits it, of course. If you make a big hole on the front of the ship in this spot, then that water's just going to come straight through. If you make a big hole at the back of the ship, then that water's not going to come through as much. Because if it's moving, the water pressure just goes around the ship. If you sort of know anything about fluid or hydrodynamics, basically the water hits here and disperses. And although the water, you see it touching the sides of the ship, the main flow of the water is sent out this way. And that's why you get that wake, those waves and things like that. So a lot of the water pressure is off these side sections. Now you still have water pressure below the waterline, of course, but it's not as bad. The water flow, which is the thing that really does sink a ship fast, is not directed in these areas as much. So on the side of the ship you still have quite a bit coming through because the ship is designed to be quite like a knife, so it goes faster. But at the back of the ship, then you get a lot less about water pressure, of course. You still do get water coming in, but not as much. But what tends to happen is you make 1,000 holes in the side of the ship here, and it does nothing. You might get a little bit of listing, but it really doesn't affect it as much as you'd hope for. The main way to kill ships in this mode is just ammo racking, as I said. It's just ammo rack, ammo rack, ammo rack, which is really boring. It's satisfying when it happens, but all in all, it's not really that fun. PT boats are just way too soft. The destroyers, as you saw, one hit and they're pretty much gone, which they should be. But yeah, I think Gaijin are going to have to look at maybe going to bigger ships and having them separate, so have the patrol boats separate from the bigger ship fleet. Allow you to take them in, but have a game mode specifically for the patrol boats, because people that play them are going to not have a fun time a lot of the time. You might get one kill with a torpedo now and again, but the majority of the time you're going to get blown out of the water by the big guns. I honestly think light cruisers are the best way to go. Corvettes, light cruisers and destroyers, because it's going to make combat last longer. It gives it a little bit more tactics. Maybe have more open maps. You know, these little island chain maps are they're okay for the smaller boats, but it really just, you basically get all the fighting on the peninsula of the map, on the outskirts, and nothing happens in the middle. Yeah, I think there's a long way to go on this still, and I just don't know what they're going to do about it. Okay guys, if you like this video, please like, comment and subscribe. I could really use it today as well, because I've had an awful couple of days. As I said, my computer blowing up, and, well, it didn't blow up, it was a software error. Basically, I'll tell you the story again if you haven't heard it. I had a critical error with one of my drivers, reinstalled it, wasn't working properly, had to install Service Pack 1 for Windows 7. Installed Service Pack 1, it stopped my keyboard, mouse working, the USB ports stopped working for them, and of course don't have PS2 on it because, you know, it's a modern computer. So I thought I'd just do a rollback. I'd actually saved everything beforehand, got backups and stuff like that on my second hard drive and first hard drive. Went to do the rollback, all the files had corrupted themselves. So I had to factory restart. Luckily my second and third hard drives weren't affected, but my first hard drive, which is where I have all my video content, was completely wiped. So I lost a lot of video content. I lost about, it would be around about 300 or 400 gigabytes of work done, of future work and current work. All my notes, all my history files, all that sort of stuff is gone. So I was a little bit dismayed by that. Also, to add it all off, my back was playing up quite a lot, so I was in a lot of pain. So I was not a happy boy the last couple of nights. Managed to fix it. I've actually had to update to Windows 10 to get it working again, because I tried getting the Windows 7 working again and I had similar issues. So I've upgraded to Windows 10, and yeah, everything is working now. Touch some wood. Everything is running fine, and actually Windows 10 runs much smoother than Windows 7, surprisingly for me. I'm running a relatively old computer for Windows 10, of course, but it runs really, really well, and I was quite scared of that. I still hate the interface of Windows 10. I hate the gimmick of having everything like a tablet or like a smartphone, but the actual operating system runs so much smoother, and I'm running games much smoother now as well, which is kind of nice. So yeah, that's the story. Anyway, please like, comment, subscribe. As I said, I really appreciate it today. And I will catch you next time. Have a lovely weekend, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.